Greetings, everybody. My name is Mohammed Sonic Boom here, and today I am going to demonstrate the new Rokket Deck Profile from the Burst of Destiny booster pack. Of course, I managed to get the cards I needed, yes, for that deck, yeah? So without further ado, we're gonna go to the monsters. Yep. So for the monsters, I want double copies of Magna Rokket Dragon. Why do I think of running Magna Rokket Dragon is because when a Link monster effect is activated that targets it, I get to destroy it. And then I can send it to I can send that monster to the graveyard, whether it's Beals or anything like that, yeah? But when it's destroyed by battle or a card effect, I can special summon any Rokket monster I want to my deck. Any kind, yep. Also, I run double copies of Metal Rokket Dragon, if you haven't remembered. It says when a Link monster's effect is activated that targets its face-up cards, all I can do now is destroy it. And then I can destroy it, and then destroy all my opponent's cards in the column it was in. And during the end phase, if it's in a graveyard, I get to special summon another Rokket monster of any choice, yeah? And for the others, I like running I run 2 copies of Silver Rokket Dragon. Precious, isn't it? Because when a Link monster's effect is activated that targets this face-up card, I can destroy this card and I can bash any card to my extra deck. Whether it's a Red Eyes Darkness Dragoon or a Destiny Hero Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. This is the only thing that comes in handy. Like, if it's during the end phase, if it's in a graveyard because it's destroyed, I can bring out any Rokket I can choose. And I think for the other Rockets, I run double copies of Auto Rokket Dragon. Why do I choose to run double copies of Auto Rokket Dragon? Because when a Link monster's effect is activated that targets this face-up card in the field, I can destroy it and send a spell or trap that I control to the graveyard. Whether it's Domain of the Monarchs if someone uses Field Barrier. But when it's just during the end phase, if it's destroyed, I can bring out any other Rokket I can choose. Also, I run double Rokket Tracer. Because quick effect, I can target one face-up card I control, and I can destroy it, and I can bring out a Rokket monster. Either I do an Xyz summon, Synchro, or whatever it is, or Link summon. Come off of Booster Dragon, and who knows, you can bring out another Dark Dragon, whatever you want, yeah? That's why Rokket Tracer will be great to run. Also, I run double copies of Rokket Recharger. Why? Because if a dark monster I control that was special summoned on my extra deck, it is destroyed by battle or card effect. If it's in the hand or field, if it's in the hand or I can send it from my hand or field to the graveyard, then I can target one of those destroyed monsters and I can special summon it. One dark monster from my graveyard with a different name from the targeted monster. Like either any kind with high defense or high attack points, whichever comes first, yeah? Also, I like running other Rockets, like Exploder Rokket Dragon, like Exploder Rokket, Shell Rokket, a Nest Rokket, and also the new monster, Rokket Caliber. You see, with Exploder Rokket Dragon, when a Link monster's effect is activated that targets it, I can destroy it, and then we both take 2,000 damage. Whether my opponent has less than 2,000 life points, or has 2,000 life points, yeah. But I gotta be careful with it, because if we both have less life points, it will end in a draw. But Exploder Rokket could be handy, you know. And with the Shell Rokket Dragon, according to this, when a Link monster's effect is activated that targets it, I can destroy that targets this face-up card. I can destroy it, and then I can destroy the monster in the column its card was in, and I can destroy any monsters in the card's adjacent zones, like in the adjacent angle, yeah? But in this rocket, I can destroy it if it's targeted by the effect of a link monster, and I can make one face-up monster unable to attack, and its effects are negated. And during the end phase, I can, and if these are destroyed, I can bring out any different rocket monster I like. And with Rocket Caliber, I can special summon it from my hand to a zone a dark attribute link monster is pointing to, and it's also a tuner. But I can tribute it and I can bring out any Dark Dragon or Machine type monster from my hand. Whichever one I can choose, yeah? Well, what can I say? The next thing I would run is Rocket Synchron. It's the only tuner monster I like, because when I normal summon it, I can target one level 5 or higher Dark Dragon type monster in my graveyard, and I can special summon it. But the drawback is, I can act in defense position, but the drawback is I have to negate its effects, and I have to destroy it during the end phase, but I can't special summon monsters except with dark attributes. That's why I run Rocket Synchron. And also, double copies of Outburst Dragon, which is your searcher. Because when I have a rocket monster, I can special summon it, then combo off and link summon. And when it's sent to the graveyard, I can add any rocket monster from my deck to the hand. I could have added Foolish Burial, but it's alright. Also, I run double copies of Gateway Dragon. Why do I run Gateway Dragon? Because when my opponent controls a link monster, I can special summon it. But once a turn, I can special summon a level 4 or lower Dragon type monster. Could be the easy way to combo off with any link monster I could choose, whether it's link 4 or whatever it is. Also, one Hibernation Dragon, because when I normal special summon it, I can target one level 4 or lower Dragon type monster and I can add it to the hand. But if I have no link monsters, I can banish it and I can target Dark Attribute Dragon type link monster in my graveyard and I can special summon it. Also the one Outburst Dragon. Because when I took effect damage, I can special summon it, and then my opponent takes damage equal to the damage I took, and I gain life points equal to half of the damage inflicted. But when it's tribute summon, I can add 2 rocket monsters with different names. That's why Outburst Dragon will be easy to run. Also, I run one Checksum Dragon. Because with the Checksum Dragon, whenever my opponent's monster declares an attack, I can special summon it from my hand, and with that, I can gain life points equal to half this card's defense points, but while in the tap position, it cannot be destroyed by battle. And also I run the Nocturnal Vision Dragon. Because whenever my opponent activates any monster effect, all I can do now is banish it. That will target a face-down card I control, I can banish it, and I can negate the effect, and my opponent cannot target face-down cards or card effects for the rest of a turn. But I can only use each of the following effects once a turn. Like if a Dark Dragon type monster I control is special summoned to my field, I can special summon it from my hand. And if it's sent to the graveyard as link material, I can draw a card. That's why I run Nocturnal Vision Dragon. And also, the only card that I'd run is one Double Disruptor Dragon. Why? Because I can tribute this card, and I can target 2 rocket monsters in my graveyard with different names, and I can special summon it in defense position. But I can banish it to my graveyard, and I can add 1 heavy trigger or heavy interlock to my deck to the hand. And yeah, I can even special summon it with a Rocket Caliber, or with the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, and I like to run. But certainly, it's only Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon only happens once a turn, because you can bring back any Boral Link monster, or any Rocket I choose, or any other Dragon type Link monster, whichever I like. And also, I run one Borreload Riot Dragon. Because of this, I can ritual summon it with Heavy Interlock. But when my opponent special summons a monster, I can negate the special summon, and I can destroy the monster, and I can destroy a card or 1 rocket monster. I can destroy this card or 1 rocket monster I control. But if it's in my graveyard, I can target 1 Borreload Rocket monster in my graveyard, and I can destroy it, and I can add it to the hand. And I can add this back to the hand. But I can only use each of it as a Riot Dragon once a turn. That's all for the monsters. So right now, we're going to go to the spells. So for the spells, I run triple copies of the field spell, Boot Scepter Launch. Because of this, I get to special summon any of my rockets. All rocket monsters on the field gain 300 attack and defense points, but I can activate one of these effects. Like special summoning a rocket monster, 2 rocket monsters with different names from my hand and defense position, or if your opponent controls more monsters than I do, I can special summon a rocket monsters with different names from my graveyard and defense position up to the difference. But I can only use this effect of Boot Scepter Launch once a turn, which is why I need to use it, yeah? I run double copies of a quick play spell, Quick Launch. Because with it I can special summon a rocket monster from my deck, but I cannot attack, and it's also destroyed during the end phase. It's easy to go at your Striker Dragon and add any Boot Scepter Launch I want, yeah? That's why Quick Launch will be good to run. And for the draw engine, I want double copies of Squib Draw. Because with that, I can target 1 rocket monster I control, and I can destroy it, and then I can draw 2 cards. And also with Allure of Darkness as well, I can draw 2 cards and banish a dark attribute. But we gotta be careful, because if you don't have any dark attribute monsters, your entire hand will be sent to the graveyard. Also, I want 1 Boral Regenerator. Why do I run this? Because I can activate by targeting a rocket monster in my graveyard, and I can special summon it and equip it. But I have to bash it when it leaves the field. But when it's sent to the graveyard, because the equipped monster is destroyed, I can draw a card. That's why Boral Regenerator will be easier to use and use either Booster Dragon or Borolo Dragon or Striker Dragon, whichever comes. Borolo, Boral Sword, Borogard, or Booster Dragon or Striker, whichever comes first, yeah? I also want 1 Bandit Punisher, because I have to apply these effects in sequence, depending on the types of Boral monsters I control or in my graveyard. But if I control a monster with 3,000 or more tap points, my opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response. Like Fusion, I can banish a monster my opponent controls. Synchro, I can, Synchro, I can banish 3 random face-down cards from my opponent's extra deck face-up. Xyz, I can banish Spell or Trap my opponent controls. And Link, I can banish up to 3 cards from my opponent's graveyard, because I can only activate 1 Bandit Punisher once. I can only activate 1 Bayonet Punisher per turn. It should probably come in handy. Also, I want 1 Boral Supplier. Because with it, I can, during stand my phase, if I have a Boral Link monster, I can target 1 rocket monster in my graveyard, and I can special summon it, but I have to destroy it during the end phase. It can be easy to combo off with any Boral Sword, any Boral monster. Yeah, Boral Link monster you like. Either way. That's why Boral Supplier will be easier. Also, I want 1 Rapid Trigger and Heavy Interlock. Why do I run these cards? Because they're searchable through Double Disruptor Dragon. Because with Rapid Trigger, I can Ritual Summon and I can Fusion Summon by destroying Fusion material listed as it, but it can only attack monsters special summon from the extra deck. And it's also unaffected by activated effects of any other monster that is special summoned from the extra deck. And Heavy Interlock, it can be used to Ritual Summon Boroload Riot Dragon, but I must tribute monsters from my hand or field and /or destroy rocket monsters from my hand or face up on a field whose total level is equal to 8 or more. But the monster that is special summoned cannot be destroyed by battle with a monster that is special summoned from the extra deck, and unaffected by the activated effects of any monster special summoned from the extra deck. That's why Heavy Interlock and Rapid Trigger will be easier to use. If you can tell it, that is. Also, I run 1 Link Burst. Why? Because I can target 1 Link monster I control and a monster my opponent controls, and I can destroy them and draw a card. I would destroy Booster Dragon, then combo off with Recharger and Booster Dragon's effects. Yep, that way you could easily destroy your monsters, that's all. The other spells I run will be 1 Twin Twisters, World Legacy Guard Dragon, Polymerization. Polymerization is useful, you know, for any of your fusion summonings, yep. even a terraforming, where you can search your field spell. Roll XD Guard Dragon, you can even move any Burrow monster you want, you know, even bring back any others. But I'm still waiting for Burrow Lend and Outburst to be in public, yeah. Also, Monster Reborn is easy to use. And then Burial from a Different Dimension. I like this card because you can return any banished cards to the graveyard, yeah. That's the only thing I use. Well, that's all for the spells then. Now we go to the traps. For the traps, I want one copy of Detonation Code. Because if I have a Topologic Link monster, I can target one dark attribute, non-link, dragon, machine, or cyburst type monster to the graveyard, and I can special summon it. But during the standby phase of the next turn after it was banished from a spell trap card zone, I can reset it. This continuous trap card is the only thing that I like. But I can only use each effect of Detonation Code once a turn. Also, I want Magical Cylinders. Why? Because I can set one magic cylinder directly from my deck or graveyard. If set from a deck, it can be activated this turn, like this one, yeah? But if I activate Magic Cylinder, I can banish this card to my graveyard and double the damage inflicted to my opponent. And Magic Cylinder is the only legendary trap card that Yugimoto ever used. Because when my opponent's monster declares an attack, I can target the attacking monster, I can negate the attack, and if I do, my opponent takes damage equal to its attack points. That's why Magic Cylinder and Magic Cylinders will be great to double the damage whenever my opponent has 3,000 attack points, and bam. Who knows? Or 2,000 maybe. Almost. Also, I won Mirror Force Launcher. Why do I want Mirror Force Launcher? During my main phase, I can discard a monster and add a Mirror Force to my deck or graveyard, like this one, yeah? But when it's destroyed by an opponent's card effect, I can set it and a Mirror Force for my hand, deck, or graveyard, and I can activate this turn. I mean, Mirror Force will be the only legendary card that Yugimoto ever used. And now Jaden Yuki uses it, and then Varus also uses it. I mean, not Varus. Oh, yeah, Master Roku also uses it from Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. And in Vrains, Varus also used this. Because when my opponent's monster declares an attack, I can destroy all of my opponent's attack position monsters. That's why Mirror Force will be essential. Also, I want one copy of Link Turret. Because with this, when it's activated, I can place 4 counters on it. And each time I take battle damage, I can place 1 counter on it. But during main phase 2, I can remove a counter and I can special summon any rockets. But its effects are negated, and it's also banished when it leaves the field. But I can't special summon any monsters in my extra deck, except for dark attribute Link monsters. Link Turret will be easier to run. For the other traps, I want one Tactical Exchanger, because I can destroy any face-up monster, and I can bring back a rocket from my deck or graveyard. And if I destroy Booster Dragon, I can carry on its effect and bring back 2 more dragons. 2 more rockets, yeah? Or any other kind, like, who knows. Even Burrow Cooling will be easier to use, because I can tribute a rocket monster, then I can target 1 Burrow Link monster I control and I can equip it. But if it's equipped to a monster, it gains the effects. Like, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects this turn. That's why I like Burrow Cooling. And also, one Execute Protocols. With Execute Protocols, I can banish any Dark Link monster I want and target a Burrow monster of any choice. Whether it's a Savage, Furious, X-Charge, or a Riot or any other Burrow Link monster. And then I can have it gain this turn I can until the end of his turn, it gains the attack points equal to the attack points of a monster banished to activate the effect. That's why Execute Protocols will be coming in handy, maybe. And also, Jar of Avarice. I can shuffle back 5 cards from my graveyard to the deck and draw a card. That's why Jar of Avarice is essential to run. Now we go to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, I run Borrowed Furious Dragon. Why do I run Borrowed Furious Dragon? Because I can target 1 monster I control, 1 card my opponent controls, and I can destroy them. And I can banish it from my graveyard, and then target one dark attribute link monster in my graveyard. And I can special summon it, but it cannot activate the effects this turn. That's why I like Furious Dragon. And also, Borreload Savage Dragon. Why do I think of Savage Dragon? Because when I synchro summon it, I can equip one link monster from my graveyard to it and place burrow counters on it. But it gains attack points equal to half the attack points of the monster equipped to. But whenever my opponent activates a card or an effect, I can remove a burrow counter to negate it. But I can use each effect of Savage Dragon once a turn. And the only risky card I'd run is Borreload X Charge. Because neither player can target this Z summon card with monster effects, except its own. Because once a turn, I can use an overlay unit, and I can target one face-up monster on the field and have it lose 600 attack and defense. And then I can special summon one burrow monster in my graveyard, but I have to banish it during the end phase. Also, I can't special summon other monsters or attack directly for the rest of the turn. This is why X Charge will be a little risky for me, that's all. Could be useful for Bayonet Punisher, even if you have another Burrow Link monster. But let's go to the other Link monsters anyway. Like, I want one Booster Dragon. Why? Because once turn I can target one of the face-up monster on the field and it gains 500 attack and defense points. But my opponent can activate cards or effects in response. And yeah, if his Link Summon cards is destroyed, you target any Rokket monster, you can combo it off whenever it targeted effect by a Link monster, or it can self-destruct it. Who knows? But when his Link Summon card is destroyed by battle or card effect, I can even bring back any other dragon type monster in my graveyard, like Borreload Riot, and maybe I'll use Rokket Recharge, come off with Rokket Recharge as well. Even if I use Rokket Tracer to destroy Booster Dragon. Also for the Burrow monsters, I want one Burrow Code Dragon. Because when I do a Burrow Code Dragon, it cannot be destroyed by any card effect while a Link monster points to it. But I can only use each of the following effects of Burrow Code Dragon once a turn. Like at the start of a damage step, if this guy was Link summoned using 3 monsters material battles, I can destroy all monsters on the field. But I can banish a dark attribute monster with 3,000 or more attack points from the field. And then I can special summon a Topologic Monster from my extra deck or graveyard, which is why I like Burrow Code as well. Also, one Burrow Guard. Why do I want Burrow Guard? Because it cannot be destroyed by card effects. Because it is easier to attack El Shaddai Construct. But once a turn, I can send one card from my spell and target summon to the graveyard, and special summon from either graveyard to my field one monster that was destroyed and sent there, but I have to negate its effects. But once a turn, I can target one monster on the field and change it to face-up defense position. But my opponent can activate cards or effects in response to it, but I can chain off with any Rokket monster I can choose. That's why a Burrow Guard will be easier to run. And if you haven't remembered Varus' ace, is Borreload Dragon. Why do I think of Borreload Dragon? Because either player can target this card with monster effects. And you see, once a turn, I can target one face-up monster on the field. And my opponent cannot activate any cards or effects in response to it. And then the opponent's monster loses 500 attack and defense. Yeah, but I can target any Rokket monster I can choose. And yeah, I can easily destroy it. If it's targeted by the effect of a Link monster, I can self-destruct it. And then what happens? Who knows? I can even carry on with those effects like Shell Rocket, Ines Rocket, Silver Rocket, Magna Rocket, Metal Rocket, Auto Rocket, and Exploder Rocket as well, and Ines Rocket, yeah? Yeah, but I can make my opponent's monster lose 500 attack and defense. But if it battles an opponent's monster, I can place that opponent's monster to a card, to this card as, to his own discard points to, and take control of it. But I have to send it to the graveyard at the end phase of the next turn. That's why I would run this. And also I run Boral Sword. Because what it does, it cannot be destroyed by battle. And once a turn, I can even target one attack position monster. And I can change it to a defense position. and it can make a second attack during the battle phase's turn, but my opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response. I have no idea this card can make a second attack, but doing the same to those rockets carry on their effects before it self-destruct, yeah? But when this card declares an attack on a face-up monster, until the end of his turn, I can activate the effect, and it gains the attack points equal to half that monster attack points, and my opponent's monster attack points is cut in half. That's why Boral Sword will be easier to run, yeah? And for the next cards, I run one Untitled Dragon. Because why? During my opponent's end phase, I can choose an attack position monster that my opponent controls that did not declare an attack, and I can destroy it, and my opponent takes damage equal to the attack points of the monster's original attack points. But if a rocket monster is special summoned to my field, I can bring back the Untitled Dragon. That's why I like the Untitled Dragon, but it's banished when it leaves the field. Also, I want one copy of Mini Boral. Why do I think about Mini Boral? Because if I control a Boral Link monster while it's in my graveyard, I contribute a Link 3 or lower monster and special summon it, but it cannot be used as Link material for a Link summon a monster with the same Link rating as a attributed monster. That's why Mini Boral Dragon will be easier to use. Also, I run one Quad Boral. Because the only Boral monster I like is Quad Boral, and I can discard a card and turn one face-up monster on the field, and my opponent cannot special summon I cannot special summon Link 2 or lower monsters. This turn for me extra deck for the rest of his turn, and I can destroy the monster. But if it's a Link monster, I can bring back any rockets I want. And I can bring out a Boral code, maybe. And for the next, I also want Striker Dragon, because when I link the only Link 1 monster I like, I can add a boost central launch in my deck to the hand. But I could target one face-up monster. I control one rocket monster in my graveyard. And I can destroy the monster on the field and add the monster from my graveyard to the hand. But I can only use each effect of Striker Dragon once per turn. And now we can go to the Topologic Monsters. For Topologic Monsters, I only run Trisbana and 0 Boros. Because with Trisbana, if a monster is special summoned to a zone this card points to, I can banish as many of those monsters as possible. And also many spell traps on the field. And my opponent takes 500 points of damage for each of their cards banished. And 0 Boros, I can't summon or send any monsters to any extra monster zone this card points to. And it gains 200 attack points for each banished card. And if another monster is special summoned to a zonal link monster points to while this monster's on the field, I can banish all cards in the field. And during the standby phase, I can special summon it, and yeah, this will easily be done, yeah. And for the last monster, I would run one copy of Triple Burst. Because what it does, once a turn during a damage step, when a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated, I can negate it during a damage step. But if it attacks a defensive position monster, my opponent takes piercing damage. But during the main phase, except for the turn it was special summoned, I contribute it during my main phase. Except for the turn that it was special summoned, it said, I can bring back any Link 2 or lower monster in my graveyard. Then I can bring out a level 4 or lower dragon type monster from my hand, whichever comes first. So this is the only thing I like to do, yeah? What can I say? It's time for me to do some combos. And my side deck is Red Reboot. Because I don't need Imperial Order anyway. Because Red Reboot, my opponent activates a trap card, I can negate it. And I can set it face down again. Then I can set one other trap card directly from their deck. But my opponent cannot activate trap cards for the rest of for this turn, yeah? But I can activate it from my hand by paying half my life points. That's why I would think of that. Yeah. But stay tuned for the combos. Okay then, if you want to subscribe, you can click on the tab, okay? Like for instance. First off, I can play a little Darkness. And I can combo off, like drawing 2 cards, and I have to banish a dark attribute, like always. And then I'll use my field spell, which is boot set to launch, and playing its effect, I can bring out Rokket Caliber or Rokket Tracer. In its effect, I can destroy my Rokket Caliber. I mean, with the combo, I can I'll have to bring out any other Rokket monster that I can choose from my deck, such as the Silver Rokket Dragon in defense. Comboing off would never be easy, you know. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. My sleeves tend to get slippery. Like if your opponent has a late 3 monster, who knows, I can combo it off and I'll just bring out Quad Boral like so on. And when due to Quad Boral, I can do the impossible, like discarding a card. I could even do the impossible, like discarding a card, and I can destroy any monster. But if it's actually a League 2 or League 3, I can bring back any Rokket I can choose. Comboing off is not easy, you know, so and I'll have to League summon like so on. I mean, I would bring out Rokket Dragon next to its link, like always. Because I'll have to destroy all monsters in the field. Even if it battles an opponent's monster. Using 3 monsters, yeah? But when I do that, I can destroy all monsters on the field, like so on. Can't believe this is the only combo I'd use. Don't forget to comment, rate, or subscribe to my channel, people.